Before we begin our journey, find a comfortable place to rest. Let your body sink gently into the surface beneath you. The bed, the chair, the soft space that holds you. You are safe. You are warm. Take a deep, slow breath in and let it flow out like the tide leaving the shore. Again, breathe in the quiet and exhale the noise of the day. Feel your shoulders loosen, your hands grow lighter, your heartbeat steadying like the rhythm of the waves. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, just this moment, just this breath. Let your eyes close softly, not forced, but gently invited by the darkness. And as you listen, know this: everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You are guided. You are loved. You are home. Now, imagine the sound of the ocean calling to you, a long, peaceful whisper through the mist. With each breath, you step closer to that sound. The air tastes of salt and memory. A light flickers in the distance, slow, steady, patient. You follow it, and soon you see it, rising through the fog like a dream taking form. An ancient lighthouse, standing alone at the edge of the world. They call it the Lighthouse of Forgotten Souls, a place where lost memories find their way back to the light. And tonight, you are its visitor, drawn not by fear, but by a quiet curiosity, a feeling that something within you is ready to remember. The dock creaks under your feet as you walk forward, each step softer, each breath deeper, and when the light sweeps over you, you feel it touch your chest, like recognition, like peace. The night is calm, the sea listens, and the story begins. The door to the lighthouse opened with a sigh, as though it had been waiting for me. Inside, the air smelled of oil lamps and rain, of solitude that had learned to be peaceful. A soft voice greeted me from the shadows. It was calm, patient, ageless. "Welcome," it said. "You must be tired from the crossing." An old man stepped into the circle of light. His hair was silver, not from years but from moonlight, and his eyes carried the stillness of the sea after a storm. He wore a simple coat, and in his hands, he held a small brass lantern that seemed to breathe with him, its flame pulsing gently, like a heartbeat made of light. "I am the keeper," he said. "I tend the light that never sleeps." I nodded, unsure of what to say. There was something familiar about him, not his face, but his presence, as if I had known him in a dream. Or perhaps he had known me before I arrived. He motioned for me to sit beside the lamp table. The wood was worn smooth by years of waiting. Outside, the waves whispered their slow rhythm, and the light above us turned, one patient revolution after another. "The lighthouse doesn't just guide ships," he murmured. "It guides the pieces of ourselves we've left behind. Every memory adrift, every forgotten kindness, every promise we meant to keep, they all find their way here, to be seen once more before the sea swallows them whole." His words flowed like a lullaby, not to explain, but to ease. As he spoke, the flame in the lantern flickered brighter, and for a moment, I thought I saw shapes within it. Faces, gestures, echoes of laughter. Memories not mine, yet strangely comforting. The keeper smiled gently. "Rest," he said. "The night is long, and the light remembers for us all." Outside, the beam turned again, a slow pulse across the sea, as if the world itself was breathing in sleep. The keeper rose from his seat, his lantern glowing like a small sun in the mist. "Come," he whispered, his voice no louder than the sea's breath. "There is something I want you to see." We climbed the spiral stairs, each step echoing softly, each turn revealing a deeper silence. The air grew warmer, filled with the scent of salt and old paper, as though every breath carried a fragment of forgotten time. At last, we reached a wide circular room. Its walls shimmered faintly, not with mirrors, but with glass so clear it seemed to hold captured moonlight. Behind each panel, light drifted like slow-moving clouds, shapes of memory, gentle and weightless. "This is the chamber of reflections," the keeper said. "It does not show who you are. It shows what the soul remembers when the world grows quiet." I stood before one of the glass walls. At first, I saw only light, but then faint outlines began to move. A child chasing waves on a beach, a mother's laughter carried by the wind, a letter never sent but always meant. They weren't my memories, not exactly, yet they filled me with a warmth so real it ached. Perhaps memory belongs to all of us, shared like the tide that touches every shore. The keeper's lantern dimmed slightly, as if out of respect. Every traveler who comes here sees what they need to see. Some are reminded of love, some of purpose, some of the simple truth that even when forgotten, nothing is ever truly lost. The air shimmered again, and the room seemed to hum softly, a harmony of countless lives remembering themselves through light. I closed my eyes for a moment, breathing in the peace around me. It felt like forgiveness, like finding home in a place I had never been. When I opened them again, the reflections had changed. Now they showed the ocean, calm and endless, and the distant light turning over the dark. The keeper smiled faintly. "You see," he said, "the light does not search for what is gone. It reminds us that everything we seek still glows somewhere within." He turned toward the next staircase, his lantern waiting to guide the way, and as we descended deeper into the lighthouse, I felt the rhythm of my breath join the rhythm of the waves, slow, even eternal. The stairs wound downward, spiraling into a low hum that seemed to rise from the earth itself. Somewhere beneath the stones, the sea was speaking, not with words, but with a rhythm too ancient for language, a pulse that the heart understood before the mind could name it. The keeper's lantern flickered, throwing long shadows that swayed like gentle tides. We stepped into a round chamber, open to the night through wide arches. The sea stretched beyond, black glass touched with silver, and every few moments, the water shimmered with soft light, as if it remembered the stars that once fell into it. "Listen," the keeper said quietly. "Beneath the tide, the forgotten voices drift. They are not lost, only resting." I stood at the edge, letting the salt wind brush against my skin. The sound of the water was hypnotic, a thousand whispers woven into one long sigh. And as I listened, the voices seemed to form thoughts, not loud, not urgent, just true. "Do not fear forgetting," they murmured. What is meant for you always finds its way back." The words were soft, but they sank deep, as if carried straight into my chest by the breath of the ocean itself. Every journey ends where it began. The sea continued, and every light, no matter how faint, still reaches someone's shore. The keeper placed the lantern near the water's edge. Its glow spread across the surface like a golden ripple, and for a moment I saw faces beneath the waves. Peaceful, resting, smiling. Not ghosts' memories. Dreams the sea had chosen to keep safe. I felt no fear, only belonging, as if I too had drifted there once, and had been gently returned by the current to remember who I was. The keeper's voice came again, low and kind. "The sea teaches patience," he said. "It teaches us to let go and to trust the returning." The waves moved in rhythm with my breath. In out, a quiet tide within my chest. Far above, the light from the tower turned again, casting a slow beam across the horizon. A promise that even the darkest night is only passing through. I closed my eyes, and in the deep hum of the ocean, I felt time itself fall away. Only stillness remained, only peace. When we returned to the main chamber, the keeper set his lantern upon a wooden table worn smooth by decades of use. There, beside it, lay an old leather-bound book. Its edges were soft with time, its surface traced with faint salt marks, as if the sea itself had tried to read it once. "This," he said, brushing the cover gently, "is the journal of those who came before you. Every traveler leaves something behind, not a name, but a whisper of their light." He opened the book. The pages glowed faintly, their ink alive with motion. Instead of words, I saw small ripples of light forming symbols that shifted like waves, moments captured in memory's language. I leaned closer, and one page opened itself. It showed an image, a young woman standing on a pier, eyes closed, smiling as though she could hear a voice in the wind. Beneath it shimmered a line that I somehow understood without reading. She forgave herself, and the sea grew calm. Another page turned. An old sailor sat beside a broken compass, the lighthouse beam resting on his face. His line read. He stopped searching for the shore and realized he had already arrived. Each page pulsed gently, then faded, their piece complete, their stories released into the quiet. The keeper looked at me. "Would you like to write yours?" I hesitated. What would I write? He smiled, a soft, knowing smile. "Whatever your heart wishes to remember when you wake." He handed me a quill. Its tip glowed like starlight. As I touched it to the page, words began to appear on their own, not from thought, but from stillness. I came to find what I had lost, and instead I found myself resting in the light. The page shimmered, accepted, and closed itself quietly. The keeper nodded. "The lighthouse has received you," he said. "Now, the light will hold your peace until dawn." Outside, the waves slowed, and the beam turned once more. A slow heartbeat across the sea, guiding all who wander home. The keeper's lantern dimmed as we began to climb once more. This time, the stairs were wider, brighter, as though they themselves remembered every step ever taken. Outside the narrow windows, dawn had not yet come, but the horizon was painted in deep blue and silver, the quiet color of awakening. With each turn upward, I felt lighter, as if the weight of unspoken things was gently lifting away. The sound of the sea grew distant, replaced by a hum, low, constant, and alive. The heartbeat of the lighthouse itself. At the top, a circular door waited. The keeper pushed it open, and golden light spilled out. Soft, endless, without a source. I stepped inside. The room was vast and silent, its walls alive with 1,000 slow-moving beams. Each beam carried a memory, acts of kindness, laughter shared between strangers, moments too small for history but large enough for the soul to keep. The light wasn't blinding, it was tender, touching every shadow without chasing it away. For the first time, I understood. The lighthouse did not shine to warn the lost, but to welcome them. The keeper stood beside me, his face peaceful. "This is the heart of the lighthouse," he said. "It does not judge what it remembers. It only keeps what was once loved." I closed my eyes, feeling the glow seep through my skin, filling every quiet space within me. The hum deepened into a single, steady breath. Mine, the seas, the lights, all the same. When I opened my eyes again, the room had changed. The beams now moved slowly around me, as though waiting for me to rest among them. The keeper's voice drifted like wind over calm water. "When you are ready, the light will hold your dreams. It will guide them gently until you wake." I nodded, unable to speak, and let the light surround me. It was warm. It was still. It was home. The light around me swayed like water, and I felt the floor beneath me dissolve into the rhythm of the sea. No edges, no distance, only flow. It was as though the lighthouse itself had exhaled, and I had become part of its breath. The keeper's voice lingered somewhere near, not outside me, but within the stillness of my thoughts. "Rest now," he said, "for even the light must dream between its revolutions." His words sank like pebbles through calm water, and ripples of gold drifted outward, carrying the last of my waking thoughts away. I felt the ocean rise gently to meet me, cradling me as one might hold a long-lost friend. The surface shimmered with images, a path of shells that led nowhere and everywhere. Stars reflected so perfectly that I could not tell which world I was standing in. The sea hummed softly, its sound wrapping around me like a lullaby woven from eternity. In that hush, I understood something simple and vast. We are all waves of the same ocean, forgetting and remembering ourselves with every tide. The keeper's lantern flickered once more, then faded into the horizon's glow. I was not afraid. The light did not disappear. It entered the water, entered me, until I could no longer tell where I ended. And the dreaming sea began. My breath matched its rhythm, slow, steady, endless. Each inhale, a tide returning home. Each exhale, the peace of letting go. And in that moment, the world became weightless. The sea dreamed me, and I dreamed the sea. The tide of dreaming carried me higher, and through its soft glow, I felt a voice, faint but clear, like a candle seen through fog. It was the keeper, He stood where sea met sky, his lantern now no more than a flicker against the vastness. The light touched his face, and for a moment I saw what I had not before. He was both old and young, both human and something greater, a spirit woven from patience and the sea's memory. "You've traveled far," he said, his words slow as moonlight. "But every journey, even this one, is only a remembering, a returning to what you've always been." The wind stirred gently around us, carrying whispers of other voices, soft echoes of souls who had once stood here, each one leaving behind a spark of light for those who would follow. "Will I remember this when I wake?" I asked. The keeper smiled, the kind of smile that carries eternity within it. "Not with your mind," he said, "but with your peace. You will find calm where there was noise, light where there was confusion. That will be your memory of this place." He lifted the lantern one last time. Its flame grew brighter, expanding until it was no longer a single point, but a field of golden warmth stretching across the sea. "Every soul becomes a light," he whispered. "Every act of kindness, every moment of quiet understanding. It all adds to the glow that guides others home." The wind softened. The sea stilled. The lighthouse beam turned once more, slower now, as though it, too, was ready to rest. The keeper's figure faded into the horizon, not vanishing, but merging with the light itself. I closed my eyes, and his final words drifted through the waves of sleep. "Rest well, traveler. The light remembers your name." Somewhere between dreaming and waking, the sound of waves began to change. No longer endless, just gentle, rhythmic, like the breath of the world as it stretched into morning. I drifted upon that sound, weightless, neither here nor gone, just floating within the space where dreams breathe softly into light. The sea glowed faintly gold now, its surface calm, its voice serene. Above it, the lighthouse stood still, no longer a sentinel, but a companion at rest. Its beam had slowed to a single soft shimmer, a reminder rather than a call. I felt warmth touch my face, the first hint of dawn. It wasn't bright or loud. It came like understanding, quiet, complete, inevitable. In the hush, I heard the keeper's voice again, not distant, not gone, but part of the morning air itself. "Light is not the end of night," he whispered. "It is its gentle continuation." The words rested within me like smooth stones in still water. I breathed them in and felt every part of me loosen. Body, thought, memory, everything easing into peace. Far away, a bird called once, its echo soft against the open sky. The sound was not meant to wake, only to remind that life continues. Quietly, beautifully, endlessly. The lighthouse stood in silence. The waves kissed the shore, and I lay between them, where the dream and the day meet, where rest becomes renewal. For a long while I stayed there, eyes closed, breathing slow, the hum of the sea now my own heartbeat. And when the final whisper came, it carried only gratitude. "You are light, and you are safe. Sleep, traveler. The world will wait." The dawn faded into silver stillness, and with it, I drifted, not away, but deeper. The sea had grown still, as if the whole world was holding its breath. The light no longer turned. It simply was, a quiet pulse of gold dissolving into the soft blue of dawn. I stood at the edge of the shore in my dream, barefoot, watching the waves slide back into themselves. There was no wind now, no sound, only the vast silence that comes after understanding. The keeper's presence lingered somewhere unseen, like warmth left by a departing flame. His final words echoed gently within me. The light remembers your name. I felt no need to speak, no need to move. Every question I had brought here had been answered in stillness, not by knowledge, but by peace. The lighthouse faded slowly into the mist, not vanishing, but becoming part of it. The way all sacred things return to what they came from. The beam that once circled the sea now lived quietly in my chest, a soft reminder that calm is always waiting to be found again. The morning sky brightened, and the world exhaled. Birdsong drifted through the quiet, and the rhythm of life began anew. Steady, patient, kind. If you are still awake, let your breathing follow the waves, in and out, gentle and slow. Let the calm that lives in this story settle deep inside you. There is nothing more to seek tonight. You are safe. You are whole. You are home. And when the sea calls again, when your heart seeks another forgotten place, return here, to the voice of the waves, to the mysteries wrapped in peace, to another quiet journey waiting in the light. Now rest, and let silence finish the story. If you are still awake, still floating in the soft mist of the lighthouse, breathe in once more slowly. Let the sound of the waves fade into the rhythm of your own heart. You've journeyed far through fog and memory tonight, and yet the dream has only just begun. Somewhere beyond this sea, beyond the quiet turning of the light, another path is waiting, calm, shimmering, timeless. So if sleep has not yet found you, do not search for it. Simply listen. Let me take you now to another place, a place where reflection and peace become one. Beyond the mist lies a hidden lake, a mirror so still that it remembers every soul that ever looked upon it with love. It is called the Mirror of Silent Waters, and it waits, like dawn behind a dream, for you to arrive. Now close your eyes a little deeper, feel your body soften, and let the next story begin to unfold. When the last echo of the lighthouse faded, the mist around me began to stir, not vanishing, but parting, as if the sea itself was showing me a secret way inland. The wind was calm now, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth. Each step felt weightless, as though the sand remembered my footprints from another lifetime. The air shimmered with a soft glow, not from any sun or moon, but from the mist itself, breathing light in slow waves. I followed it, guided by something older than thought, until the ground beneath me turned cool and still. There, before me, stretched a silent lake, its surface smooth as glass, holding the reflection of the world above with impossible perfection. It was not an ordinary lake. Its reflection didn't follow the movement of clouds or wind. When I looked closer, I saw something stranger, quieter, not the sky, but memories. Shapes of faces, moments, laughter, gentle flickers of forgotten kindness rippling across its surface like candlelight on water. I felt my breath slow. The lake seemed to sense me, to wait patiently, like an old friend waiting for a word never spoken. In its stillness, I could hear the whisper of my own heart. You are safe. You may rest here a while. The path behind me disappeared into mist once more. Ahead, the lake shimmered in silver calm, and I knew the story was not finished. The sea had carried me here for a reason. Somewhere beneath that mirrored surface lay the next chapter of light. The silence was vast, the kind of silence that doesn't frighten, but embraces. The air shimmered gently, as if the lake was breathing with me. Then, from across the mirrored surface, I saw her. A figure cloaked in pale silver mist, standing so still that she seemed woven into the air itself. When she moved, the reflection moved first, as though the lake introduced her to the world. Her voice came not through sound, but through presence, calm, low, and endlessly kind. You have walked far from the noise of memory, she said. Here, we remember only what chooses to remain. Her words were light, yet they echoed as if spoken inside my heartbeat. I stepped closer to the water's edge. The reflection showed me not as I stood, but as I felt. Lighter, younger, untouched by the weight of time. Who are you? I asked softly. I am no one, she smiled. Only the one who listens when souls are quiet enough to hear themselves again. She knelt and touched the lake's surface with her hand. The ripples that formed were slower than ordinary waves, each one revealing a glimpse of someone's cherished memory, a child's laughter, a lantern swinging in a night breeze, hands joined before parting. Every reflection, she whispered, is not what we see, but what we've forgotten to forgive. This water holds the gentlest parts of all who pass, until they're ready to let the light back in. The air grew warmer, as if the world itself approved of her words. I felt something loosen inside me, a knot of worry I hadn't noticed, quietly undoing itself in the calm. You do not need to understand, she said. Just breathe. The water will remember for you. The keeper's hand lingered upon the surface, and the water began to stir. Slowly, images unfolded like petals opening under moonlight, soft, weightless, and impossibly clear. At first, I saw nothing but gentle waves. Then, as I breathed, shapes began to form, outlines of moments I had forgotten I even lived. A childhood morning filled with laughter, the scent of rain on stone, a candle burning beside an old letter. Every memory glowed faintly, not as it was, but as it felt. Do not chase them, said the keeper's voice, drifting like wind through reeds. Memories are shy. If you reach for them, they hide. If you simply watch, they'll reveal their truth. So I watched. The scenes rose and fell like breath. I saw mistakes softened by time, faces I once loved smiling again without pain. The water made no judgment. It only showed what was ready to heal. For a long moment, I forgot where I was. I felt light, as though each reflection took a piece of my weight and set it free into the lake. Every ripple that reached the shore carried away something I no longer needed. Worry, regret, even the quiet ache of longing. "You see," she whispered, "nothing is lost. It only changes its reflection." The moonlight deepened, silver turning to pearl. The water's calm became my own. Somewhere beyond the reflection, I thought I saw the lighthouse beam fade gently into the horizon. Not gone, but watching, content. When the last ripple settled, the lake returned to stillness. In its mirror, I no longer saw memories or faces, only light. And somehow, I knew that was enough. The lake grew quiet again, so quiet that even the moon seemed to pause above it. A faint shimmer began to form at the center of the water, brighter than any reflection I had seen before. The ripples turned to rings of light, pulsing slowly, as though the lake was whispering something in a language older than sound. The keeper stepped closer. "It remembers you," she said softly. "Every traveler who comes here leaves a name behind. But sometimes, when the soul grows tired, the lake keeps that name safe until you are ready to carry it again." The water brightened, and from its heart emerged a word made of light. It wasn't written in letters I knew, yet it felt familiar, like hearing my own heartbeat spoken aloud. It wasn't a name of this world, but a meaning, a reminder. It spoke of peace, of belonging, of light that never stops guiding even when unseen. The moment I saw it, I felt something awaken within me, not a memory, but recognition. The ache of searching eased. The sense of being lost dissolved, as though the lake had returned a piece of my soul that had drifted away long ago. "Do you understand now?" the keeper asked. "Names are not what others call us. They are what the universe remembers when we forget ourselves." The light began to fade, not vanishing but sinking gently into the water, where it would rest until I needed it again. In its wake, the surface shone perfectly still, a mirror of quiet truth. I closed my eyes, letting that stillness settle inside me. Somewhere beyond the silence, I could feel the keeper's smile, patient, timeless, kind. As the keeper's words faded into the air, the lake began to glow once more. But this time, the light did not remain still. It gathered, folding upon itself, until a soft bridge of pale silver shimmered across the surface, a path made of reflections, waiting to be walked. "When the water trusts you," the keeper said, "it lets you walk upon your own peace." Her voice was almost part of the wind now. I stepped forward, and the water beneath my feet didn't break. It held me, as though the light itself had decided I was light enough to carry. Each step I took revealed a memory below, but gentler now, no longer echoes of sorrow or longing. They were fragments of gratitude, faces smiling, hands reaching, small joys I had forgotten to honor. Every reflection glowed, then faded into calm ripples, leaving only light behind. As I reached the center of the lake, everything fell silent. The mist above and the water below mirrored one another perfectly, and for a moment I could not tell which way was the sky and which was the world. It was as if I stood at the center of existence, suspended between what was and what could be. "This is the crossing," whispered the keeper from somewhere unseen. "Here, the past becomes quiet. Here, you meet the peace that has always been waiting." I closed my eyes. The bridge pulsed beneath my feet, slow, rhythmic, like the heartbeat of the universe itself. In that stillness, I realized I wasn't walking toward anything. I was simply returning to the calm that had never left me. When I reached the far end of the bridge, the light beneath my feet softened, no longer a path, but a shimmer dissolving back into the calm lake. The air around me turned gentle and cool, carrying a silence so deep it felt like a song without sound. Across the water, the keeper stood once more. Her cloak of mist drifted in the breeze, her eyes like quiet starlight. "You have seen what needed to be seen," she said. "The rest will come when you no longer seek to hold it." I wanted to thank her, but no words would come. Only breath, only stillness. She smiled as though she understood. "When you wake," she whispered, "you will forget my face. But the calm will stay, woven between your thoughts like the hum of distant waves." The light around her began to fade, turning to pale silver dust that floated into the air, each particle drifting upward like a star returning home. Her form blurred into the mist until only her voice remained, carried by the faint ripple of the lake. Peace is not something you find. It is something you remember. The bridge beneath me slowly melted back into the water, and I was standing once more upon the quiet shore. The lake's surface reflected only the moon now, calm, endless, whole. A deep exhale left my chest, unforced and easy. My body felt weightless, as though the earth itself was holding me gently in its palm. The night had grown still, and the last whisper of the keeper lingered in my heart, a single note of light. I closed my eyes. The world faded into that note, and the note became silence. I sat beside the lake for a while, watching the water return to perfect stillness. No ripples, no reflections, only peace. The silence around me felt alive, like a gentle heartbeat hidden beneath the night. A breeze passed through the reeds, whispering soft notes that could have been words, or simply the world breathing. I lay down upon the cool grass, the scent of earth and rain settling around me like a blanket. The stars above looked closer than they ever had, patient, eternal, kind. Every breath I took moved in rhythm with the lake, in and out, the same gentle pattern that had carried me through the mist, across the bridge, and back again. It was as if the whole world was breathing with me, a single, infinite exhale. Somewhere far away, I thought I heard the faint hum of the lighthouse, its beams stretching across dream and distance. But it wasn't a sound anymore. It was memory. It was peace. Sleep now. The keeper's voice whispered from nowhere and everywhere. The light will keep watch. The water will remember your dreams. My eyes grew heavy. The stars blurred into soft circles of light, the kind that dance behind closed lids when the mind begins to drift. Thoughts no longer needed words. They became shapes, colors, feelings, all folding into quiet. And as the lake faded from sight, I realized I was not falling asleep. I was being held by sleep, the way the earth holds a seed, or the sea cradles the tide. Everything was right. Everything was whole. The last sound I heard was my own calm breathing, echoing softly through the dream that would last until morning.